Okay, welcome to the Forge Coffee Break. This is the episode number 55, no, 45. Yeah, 45. And welcome, thank you for joining today. As usual, this is a space for open questions, open topics, anything that you may have, any projects that you are working with, anything that you want to discuss. And you can open your microphone. And I see some new names joining today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining for the first time. And let me open to you. Have any questions or topics that you would like to bring up? Jelko, it's a long time. Gerard, Ricky, Edgar, John, Moses, welcome back.
Hi, Augusta. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I seem to have some audio issues here. Yes, Turner Tracy here.
Getting audio on this thing.
You can't hear me, can you, Augusta?
I hear you.
I can hear you.
Hi, Jim.
No, yeah, I think oh, now I can hear.
Okay, great.
Sorry, it was on my side.
Okay. So yeah, no, just a quick kind of high level question, I guess, on API roadmaps and so on. So we have a project where we're downloading data. Yeah, I think Augusto seems to be having problems. Okay, I'll continue anyhow. Yeah, so we're downloading data from BIM 360 ACC hubs, things like obviously files, folder structures, RFIs, issues, and so on. So at the moment, there are some limitations on the API side. We can't get some of that data, get to it. For example, attachments to an issue, we can't download that. So I'm just wondering, what's the roadmap in relation to being able to access that data? Is that something that is coming in the near future or never, or what the options are?
So I can tell you what I know for sure, and then I'm going to leave a question. So the ability to work with attachments programmatically for issues, RFIs, and there's several other kind of object types is absolutely on our roadmap. It's absolutely something we're going to do. The one gotcha I'm not sure about, maybe Augusto knows more, but I don't see a BIM 360 expert here, is when I say that, I know it's being done for ACC, Autodesk Construction Cloud projects. I'm not 100% sure what we're doing on the BIM 360 side. So it may be the answer is yes, but it needs to be an ACC project. Do you know, Augusto?
Well, as I understand, Jim, most of the new APIs will be coming for ACC, or supporting both ACC and BIM 360.
Yeah, I think we all know things around docs when it comes to files. I mean, those APIs are common across BIM 360 and ACC. Mm-hmm. But attachments to issues is very specific. Yeah.
And there is we just released the new preview of issues API for ACC, right? So we just shared that as well. So.
Yeah, and I think attachments is not there yet. That's coming in a couple more weeks.
Yeah, looking here, there's comments and other things, but not attachments yet.
Yeah, in fact, it's probably in the limitations section because we know we have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you actually go to the web page right now for the documentation for the ACC issues, you'll see the limitations description, which I'm pretty sure includes attachments. But that's a good thing. The fact that we're calling out it's a limitation is because we know we have to do it.
Yeah, so kind of the use case that I have in mind right now as well would involve moving data from BIM 360 to ACC. So obviously if we can't get at everything that is in BIM 360, we're going to have gaps in data and unhappy customers.
Yes, we need to get your question to Makako Harada
Yeah, definitely.
or Zhao Dong, one of those two engineers on my team. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that Mikako is offline today, so I'll definitely follow, share this presentation. And we are indeed discussing how to keep moving forward with Issues API. There is some meetings with the teams this and next week. I'll definitely mention that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So where is the best place actually to go to see the future roadmap, or is that something you don't publicly publish?
So yeah, as of
You know
today,
what?
it's not shared, but there is a AU class and a Dev Day class that was presented, I don't know, a month ago, and Mikako did present the roadmap for BIM 360 ACC. Let me get that recording for you in here. Have we published that? I'm thinking now.
I think it got moved to YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's, where is it?
You know, 2021, 2022, right? Well, it's not here yet. Well, I think we're late publishing them.
Well, here's a question, Gerard. Are you an ADN member?
No, not at the moment, no.
Okay, so we haven't put this in public yet. So about a month ago, we had something called Dev Days for ADN members, where we did 45-minute long deep dives into what's coming with the new releases. And one of those deep dives was Makako walking through BIM 360 ACC. So there's a 45-minute video, and we end up waiting to put it in public until it really is public.
Right.
Anyway, net, I believe Augusto can get Makako to, get you access to that, so you can see what's coming.
That
So
would be great.
please send us a message on forge.help@autodesk.com, and so we know your email, and then we can send you back the link.
And what will I refer to that as? What will I request specifically there?
BIM 360 ACC roadmap.
Okay.
Oh, Kevin did find it, so yeah. It is. Thank you, Kevin.
Is it public, Kevin?
Yep, it's on YouTube.
Ah, brilliant.
Searching on Google is sometimes not so easy. So I usually just go to YouTube to find it.
Yeah. Well, it's new content too, so it hasn't been.
Yeah, Google hasn't found it yet.
Yeah, it hasn't been spidered that well. Yeah.
Okay. And is that something that's going to be published on an ongoing basis, or where do we find updates in the future?
So we do it about twice a year. We do a webinar. We do a video of some sort where we present changes. Again, we run this Dev Days every March, and then we do it again around AU timeframe, so September this year.
Okay.
But reality is, Gerard, what you want to do is, if you're looking for something very specific, you just should ask, when am I going to get, A, B, and C, and just send it to forge.help@autodesk.com and get a very direct answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I get you kind of want both because you don't know what you don't know. So having the webinar, gives you a bigger picture versus the specific thing you're trying to accomplish. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Some things I do know. That we have the known unknowns and the unknown unknowns.
Yeah, the funny part is you can go look at the BIM 360 ACC roadmap from that was done last August for AU last year. Then you'll see this one where you have the link now, which is what we just did a few weeks ago. And then come next day, you'll see the next one, and you'll watch how these things kind of evolve. But I'll tell you, what we deliver changes based on what people are telling us they need. So don't feel like you're a victim or you're a recipient. You are actually able to impact, what we do.
So if I shout loud enough, I can change the direction.
Yeah, well, squeaky wheels are good things. We need demanding, squeaky, demanding customers are good for us.
Okay, I'll get shouting in the future. So
Cool,
And,
thank
you sound like
Yeah.
you have a British accent, and if you're from the U.S., Brits always sound so polite and engaging.
no, you're insulting me now, Jen. I'm not British.
Oh shoot, you're Scottish or something?
Irish.
Irish. Oh, hey, I have Irish relatives. I can relate.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Gerard.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Yes,
Hi, Najoko.
something. Hello, guys. I need a little help from Adam. You see, maybe Adam is here. It's just picture is here. Maybe Adam is here. I don't know.
He's right there.
About one blog. I will put in the chat the link to that blog here. I just want to share my screen, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sharing screen.
So you got inventor models that you want to view, and it's got to be fast.
So this is a blog about speed up viewable generation with design automation, because I'm now working on one DA for Inventor, and I want to escape that one step, receive the model and send the model to the translation, because the design automation asks about 2-3 minutes, and I have to repeat 5 or 6 times. That means roughly that will be 15 minutes occupied, and customer don't want to wait 50 minutes to respond. So I want to use this code, but I don't know where to put that one. Is that just place in that template that I have for design automation? Because I didn't find anywhere method to call this export to SVF. Is that something automated in Inventor to call it, or how does it work?
No. You add this function to your app bundles code, and then you can call it.
Call it from
your app bundle.
From app bundle, call it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
so-
can add this extra function there, and then just call it from your own function. Then you say, okay, export it to SVF. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kevin?
it's part of your Inventor add-in.
Okay. So when I receive that is finished for the modeling, then I have to call that method.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. In that case, it's clear now. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
I mean, the concept there is basically what you're doing is asking Inventor itself during the design automation process to create the SVF, rather than taking the result of design automation and sending it to model derivative, which is an extra step.
Yes. I wanted to avoid that step, to just make it fluently go from the one to another. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Just interesting, following on that thread, right? There is a blog post as well by Chaodong. He's showing how to upload files from design automation to your location using the open network. So with that API, you can start a work item. Let's say we start a work item, do some changes on the Inventor file, export to SVF from Inventor, and then send that SVF to some other place and keep the work item running and do more things, and then send again and again, right? So you can keep the work item running for some time, and during the work item, use the open network to send the results back, right? So you keep your model loaded in Inventor and export multiple times. So let's say the user wants a live session, right? So you can start the work item and make some changes, and then you use the open network to send the results, then use WebSockets to give back some input, and then keep making changes, right? So that can speed up the process. The only thing to consider is that in that case, you have the work item running for a long time, and you are paying for that long time. So you have to consider that on your workflow.
Yes, yes. They will consider it.
Yeah, Adam was sharing that here, Open Network Preview. Lots of interesting links today. Thank you, Nachok. Any other questions?
Oh, I saw in chat, Moses was asking about machine learning, generative design.
Mhm.
I'd probably point to one of our partners who's a system integrator, CC Tech, has done a few machine learning applications that use Forge in various ways. One of them was using Google Tensor to map out performance of valves and then using Forge to present that data in a kind of a heat mapped way. They also did a machine learning where they were feeding live video and tracking the movement of vehicles in real time. So they had to train their machine learning system on how to identify a vehicle from a video, which is just 2D, and with multiple cameras, and then plotting it out in 3D, and then presenting it in a 3D, in the context of a 3D model, so you can do analytics of the motion of a vehicle through 3D space. Yeah, you also said generative design. I can't pull one, I don't know of one right off on the generative design side.
I'm thinking too, but usually they don't run with Forge, right? They run with Dynamo or something like that. That's usually faster to do generative design.
Yeah, and one of the things we are working on is Revit design automation supporting Dynamo. That is on our to-do list. It's not done. We planned it. It's going to happen at some point. And then, yeah, that would get you some generative design capabilities via design automation for Revit.
Right, so there is one more question from Bowen. I have a question about bounding boxes. Would you like to open your microphone?
Sure. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thanks for having me today. I've been chatting with Xiaodong about this, and I've been trying to get clash points from the model coordination API, and I tried extracting the bounding boxes directly from the viewer. And so I had success doing that, and it placed my, do you mind if I share my screen? Is that okay?
Oh, no, sure, go ahead.
Okay, awesome, thank you. So the one here on the right represents the max point of the bounding boxes of all of the elements in the viewer from downloading that from the Forge viewer directly. So you can see my X ranges somewhere between -25 and +25, and my Y range goes from -25 to about +25. But when I use the model properties API, I can also query the bounding box values. Here we are, but you can see it's actually placing my X at -820 and my Y at +810, which is a little strange, but this is what it ends up looking like. And so you can see right here, my top Y value is 845, my low ones 785, and -860 and -812 for my X values. So for whatever reason, it seems like there's a transform difference between what I'm getting when I'm querying the viewer versus the model properties API. And I was just wondering if there's a step there that I'm missing, or a bit of code that I'm not understanding.
Okay, so on the left is model properties, and on the right is viewer.
Correct.
And it looks like, is it fair to say the range is the same? It's just that everything's been moved 800 coordinates, 800 units or something?
That's correct.
Yeah, what I was wondering is, with model properties, is it taking the actual location from the model itself, but the viewer kind of centers things around 0, 0?
Okay.
So that's one thing. Yeah, that's true. I'm curious how you were. What is the actual property that you are getting from model properties, and what is the function that you are calling from the viewer to get the information?
Sure. So how am I getting this from model properties, and how am I getting it from the viewer? Is that
Yeah.
the question?
Yeah, because maybe they are the same thing, but using, as Kevin said, different coordinate systems, right?
And that could be it. So what I tried doing was I loaded it into Dynamo, and placed these points. And I didn't check these ones yet, but these ones are still, they are 800 feet off of where it is in my Revit model. And so that's the part that I'm kind of confused about. And I tried applying the internal versus shared coordinate translation, and that wasn't the issue. It's just for whatever reason, there seems to be a transform coming out of model properties API. And so the only thing I'm doing when I'm getting the model properties is I downloaded the Postman collection from you guys, and I plugged in some values to get the model that I wanted, and this is what it gave me. Versus the model viewer, what I do is I'm not a really good coder, so I just go into the Google Chrome console, and I have a little bit of code. Where I put it? Teams, ideas, where is it? Come on, here we are. So basically I go and I get the fragment list from the viewer, and then I do the frag list to frag to DBID, calculate the bounding boxes from the fragments, and then export that out with some ID value for the elements themselves. So that's kind of the difference of operation. One's running through the viewer, one's running through properties.
Okay, interesting. So let me get something here.
And
it's really suspicious that it's 800 units in both the X and the Y.
Yeah, and they're going opposite directions, right? One's going negative and one's going positive.
Yeah.
And just a clarification. So I think I heard you say, even in Revit, it's different than model properties. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
So that seems really weird, because I would expect it to be matching Revit, Revit's coordinate system.
Correct. That's what I was thinking too.
Can I share for a moment?
Please.
I'm not going way too deep, but this is a sample we have that, among other things, is showing a label on top of the model, right? And the label appears at the center of each element in the viewer, right? So I'm just like you did, I'm calculating the bounding box for that element and then getting the coordinate. So what I want to show you is, and I can send you the link in just a moment. Right here, and where is it? Bounding box. Yeah, you have a different code there to get. But anyway, you need this here. Get words bound, and that should get to the adjusted coordinates instead of the 0 to. You are having -20 to +20.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Let me send you this.
Okay.
So what it's doing is, for each DBID that you have in your model, it's returning the bounding box of that DBID, which includes all the geometry in that element. So let's say you have a very complex door with lots of small parts, right? So this is doing a union to get the big bounding box of that door, including all the fragments on that door.
Okay.
And if you wanna get that, then yeah, that's mostly what you have to do. And then you get this. So the rest of the code is getting the center of that and converting to the browser units, so you can place the label. But I don't think you need this. You just need this guy right here.
Okay. But so this is directly from the viewer, right? But why would the bounding box be off from model properties? Right? Because
I believe this will get you the same as model properties, because that will convert to the word bounds that you didn't have on your code.
Right, but why would it be different than the Revit model? Is there a translation happening?
Well, the viewer will always place the model at the orange, which is different from Revit, right? So so in Revit you may place your model offset from the orange, but in the viewer will always be around orange.
Origin.
Orangey, yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think what Augusto is saying, that if you apply this in your code, it may at least bring those bounding boxes to matching what you're getting from model properties.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. I believe that what we are getting today as from the viewer is not converted, but what we're getting from model properties is converted. But we can check. But if you can run this and confirm that, then we can check that as well.
Then there might still be a question though as to why it varies so much from the Revit model itself. You know, we might have to still address that, but at least you might align your two tests.
Okay, I'll start here and check and see if that's the issue, and I'll do some more digging on the Revit side and see if it's right. Like kind of what Jim was saying, you know, if we just move it 800 feet this way and 800 feet that way, does that solve the issue? So
Yeah, and if you're already have a case open with Xiaodong, you may want to send him the Revit model so we can look at it, look at the coordinate systems, and is it geolocated, and maybe he'll spot something.
Yeah, and also consider units, right? So, you know, what units you're using in Revit as display units might be different than what the coordinate system is using at the properties level.
got it.
800 though, that's an interesting number. Doesn't jump out as a coordinate thing, but maybe.
One last thing, right? You can always, in this case with Xiaodong, you can get some time with him. So calendly.com/Autodesk and then Xiaodong right here. And his calendar is here. So tomorrow he has some open slots available. You can book a time with him to discuss your questions.
Okay, awesome.
I'm not sure where you are, but this is my local time zone. So once you go here and select his name, you can see his availability.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. So we are almost at time. And let me share here again. So the next coffee break will be again, same link in 2 weeks. And see you there. I'll be, as usual, posting the recording and same link, same time. And see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for joining today.